Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to the best half of your life. Why do I say that? It's because we are the only, and I repeat, the only people who have conversations that nobody else has the balls to have. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, we talk about real stuff, the real stuff. And tonight, we're going to have a very interesting discussion. My name is Peter Igaga, the boldest man in Kampala. And to bring it home is none other than Faisal himself. So Faisal, what are we doing tonight?
We're talking about snitches.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't that what we're talking about?
yeah.
Snitches.
Yeah, but like snitches is like a jargon slang. Explain.
So what we're talking about is to tell or not to tell. And we do have a scenario arranged. So here's the scenario. You have a friend of yours and their introduction is, let's say, tomorrow or a week from now. And for some reason, you're out, you're on Bandali Rise, and you find this friend of yours, you find the would-be wife in a very compromising situation with another man. Remember, the introduction is like a week or so before. Do you tell or do you take it to the grave? That's what you're talking about today, right?
Could not have put it better. So do you keep your mouth shut or do you run your mouth? If you ask me, and I don't want to bias you, if it's none of your business, then it's none of your business.
Even when you're collecting money for that event. Like in the WhatsApp group of people collecting money for that event.
All right, to start us off, Colin. Now,
Why am I the one starting you?
yeah, because I'm sure you've got quite a bit of
You're a
experience.
snitch. You look like a snitch. You even have a snitch posture.
I feel like you
have a
guys
tie.
don't know me.
Lawyers are snitches.
Me, I don't talk.
Yeah.
I will die with the lie.
But you're a marketer.
But question, Colin. Who is your loyalty to? Because you see, you've got your friends. You found out this information. If the tables were turned, would you have wanted to know?
First of all, good evening, viewers. As you can see, we are always permanently in a state of crisis. Every topic Peter brings is like it's a national issue. I keep telling him, let's talk about things which are important.
Oil, fuel.
He will never talk about those things, but it's always, oh my God, they have stolen my wife. Like it's and it sort of creates this, what we call the tyranny of urgencies, where everything seems urgent and important. But to circle back to the thing that you're saying, Peter, and I think that the way Faisal phrased the example, if you're in the group, you're just in the group. Yes? The only thing you have to do is just pull out your money. Yeah, because listen, people who are getting married are making their own life decisions. They've vetted this person. They're vetting, maybe they're on a free trial of the vetting. They've not applied the Pro Max paid version of the vetting. Yeah. Because when you apply the Pro Max paid version, you will discover the things that you need to sing. But I say that to say it isn't your place. Yeah? It is only your place in the event that it is your bro, it is your best friend, like people for whom this is going to have an impact on us. When you divorce us, and I say us because if me and Faisal are bros, and you divorce Faisal, and you take half his house, I have to feed him from my own money. If it's going to impact me like that, but if me and Faisal aren't close, and you're going to get married, and I see another guy eating, I'm like, bro, it's not yours, it's just your turn.
All right.
But also, I think that that's a really sophisticated way to say it's none of my business.
But then, aren't you then cherry picking?
No, because we are our brother's keepers. And I guess part of being and living in the world in which we are, which is ruthless, which is competitive, because the thing that we're not willing to accept is, in another scenario, I could be the one eating. I could be the one. I'm like,
your bros, woman.
Yeah, because I could be like, you're going to marry Faisal Sato, like on Thursday. I want Tamegenda. This is the thing, because a lot of people out there are doing this.
They're doing it. Yeah,
they're doing it. Girls are like, I'm going to go, but just one last one for, and it's become normalized. It's not right. And but so there's two levels that are happening. there is the betrayal that's happening in the relationship. And now you want to come and layer on that and say, by the way, I want to tell you, Faizo, I saw Faizo eating your things day before the wedding. But here's what's going to happen. In most cases, Faizo is bitter because when you confront the guy, you say, Faizo is bitter because you answer wako and I said no. Here are the messages. Now, all of a sudden, there's a third betrayal where now Faizo, it emerges, he also tapped, but because they refused to give him, now he's snitching. and so that's not coming from a place of purity or a good heart. And so I think that we have to be clear about our intentions and our purpose in our hearts. And it's fine to do bad things, but we have to know what we're doing and accept the consequences. Because if they catch you,
it's not fine to do
that's a bit. You're literally setting us off on a very dangerous tangent. But Doreen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. I have often said a relationship is between two people. Now, sometimes we think that it's about others, whether it's family, friends, and all that stuff. Colin has insinuated that, you need your guys because when you leave, you're going to move into his house and he's going to have to feed you. So his only issue is food, nothing else. Okay. Now, is it wrong to get into issues of somebody else's relationship? Because, I'll give you a very short story to bring it home. There's a guy who, he was in Barra, where Colin comes from, okay?
Is he your friend?
Listen. So he was
people
having
say there's a
got
guy,
a
they're
visit,
talking about themselves,
Is it him?
but they don't want to say, you see last year. Okay,
Listen. So he gets a knock on the door, all right? And he opens the door, and it's the angel of death, all right? So the angel of death walks in, and he's got a list, and he says, dude, I'm here, and I've come to take you, okay? And he says, all right, look, you've come to take me. There's nothing I can do, but at least let me just make you one last meal, okay? And let's have some drinks. So he whips up a meal, they have a couple of drinks, the angel of death gets drunk, he enjoys himself, he falls asleep. So when the angel of death is asleep, he gets the list and crosses out his name from being the first name and puts it right at the bottom, because the list is long. Because his assumption was, by the time the guy is done with all these guys, probably...
I'd have enjoyed.
Yes, I'll have escaped. So the angel of death wakes up with his hangover and he's like, bro, you know what? Clearly, I misjudged you. You're a really, really great guy. But you know what I'm going to do? Instead of starting with the first guy, I'm going to start with the last. Okay?
How many?
So,
I just want to know how many.
so what am I trying to say? If it's yours, it's yours. All right. If you're meant to find out, you will find out. Shouldn't be your business.
I think
to go
the
and
flaw
educate
is this whole thing about Mbara men cooking. I think this is...
Once he said, let me make for you food. I was like, not my friend. No.
They don't cook?
Mbara men don't...
They'd rather die.
They don't cook.
Mbara men would rather die. Face famish and hunger. What?
Oh my
Anyway.
God.
Okay, yeah.
But I do understand the opinion. And going off what Colin was saying, who are you in this situation to this particular person? For example, the chick who's saying, okay, you find this chick and per se I'm the friend to the chick, right? The Mogole. What relationship do I have with this person? Because most of the times I have many girlfriends. We have these conversations. I'm like, if I find your man in a bar, because we do you want to know? You're maybe having a good time. Do you want to know? And they'll say, okay, for me, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I love my man. I don't care. I will still marry him regardless. And some of us will be like, oh, you know what? Me tell me. But also you will not say like, all of you tell me. Okay, be like, Faizo, if you please tell me. I trust Faizo. But if you say, okay, like Colin is going to tell me, I'll be like, oof, I don't know.
This is the one you trust?
No. I'm giving an example because again, I'm just meeting all of you today. So I'm just giving an example. Like out of the girlfriends, who are you to this person? There are friends you trust, whose opinion makes sense to you. You trust their judgment. And there are friends, we all know these things. And this is very common to women, not to men, but it's very common to us. We know we have a bit of jealousy issues. And, you know, the man is tall. Oh my God, my guy is not tall. I will do anything, you know. So we have those issues. They'll tell you, I met your man, be like, whatever she says, I don't care. I'm marrying the guy regardless, you know. So it depends who you are in the scenario.
But you as you, like, if
I want
someone
to
came
know.
and told you.
Who is this someone?
Your friend. Like,
Which
you've
friend,
been
again?
on 5 trips with her. You've been on 5 trips out of Kampala with her.
True.
So that's how good you are as friends.
That doesn't mean
And
they're
she
good
comes and
friends.
she's
That's
like,
a
"Buy
good
it."
hang. That's a good hang. There are girls who are such good time.
Let's
but
say
they're not
the
really good
information
people.
is real. It's
Okay.
not fake. The information is real. This chick is telling you, D, we found your guy banging some other babe in the car, in the parking lot.
In the tent.
Would you want to know or no? Like we were at Nyege and the guy came out of the tent.
But it's Nyege.
Would you want to know or no?
Probably. But also, the thing remains. Who is the mouthpiece of this information?
The information is accurate.
How do I know? Then I have to find out. Are there other people who saw this? Also, there
There's
are signs,
evidence.
you know your guy. It's like, okay, I just like the guy, but I know his issues. And I
There's
just decided to
evidence.
settle with him. You know,
like
there's
here,
prior,
he's
there's...
coming out of the tent.
Okay. Coming out of the tent is different. They could be talking.
So wait, guys. I have a question, and I know you want to take us to break. Yeah, I know you want to take us to break.
Let me say something before we go on break.
but Nange, I'm the one who has.
Oh, Chris also hasn't said anything yet, by the way. So you can,
Okay,
you can,
all of us, we are not talking. We're not to
Calm down. I'll tell you what. Yes, we do need to go into a break. But
What? Okay, now
all
let me.
right. Then okay, Colin. Then we'll
The only thing I was going to add, which is an addition on what Faisal was saying, and I think these things are about evolution and context. If a guy has are you saying that, and maybe this is the thing that we need to explain, would you rather Faisal comes and tells you your guy did this, or Faisal takes the video and posts it online? And because then you're feeling sometimes you're like, Faisal, you should have come and told me.
Yeah.
Versus instead of just posting my things out there now, I'm embarrassed. The guy is embarrassed.
Of course.
So, and I think that we have to talk about that because there's various levels to the betrayal.
Yeah.
I didn't follow your man. I just saw I didn't follow your friend. I just bumped into them socially. The action of snitching and the betrayal and loss of loyalty is if I then take a picture and I don't send it to you, I send it to the group chat. I'm like, yo, man, have you seen Faisal's chick? She's out here. Now, all of a sudden, I put him on the defensive. I think that's where the loyalty is lost.
Chris, I want you to weigh in here. I think the main issue is not about whether it's true or whether it's not. Okay. I think the main issue here is what will be the consequences of your action. If you decide to take it upon yourself to go and talk about, say, oh, I saw Faisal, or tell Faisal, I saw your woman. What's the why?
You know,
I really want
there's
to
been
hear
there's
Chris's
been a
answer.
conversation going on here.
Don't worry about this.
I'd
You
wanted
tell
to-
us yours.
I'd wanted to let it go till after the break.
Yes.
And I think that it depends. It depends. It's not an answer that one can give without applying wisdom, because I marry couples almost every week. I'm a pastor. I marry couples almost every week, and we have this question we ask: is there anyone who has any reason why these two should not be lawfully wed, to declare it now? And I've had scenarios where marriages, the wedding didn't happen because of information that came out at that point. Okay? So part of the fear that many people have is, no, it's too close to the wedding. You can't tell when it's too close to the wedding, you're going to destroy them. But how about if they're getting into a marriage that's a long-term distraction? Okay? So there's that side of things. There is I think if you're an adult and you've been around Kampala, probably stayed at a hotel that has a beach, and you happen to have gone out of your hotel room to go for a drink, soda, whatever it is in my case, there's things people do. Some now you can't tell whether this is the official, non-official, because they're all stealing.
Yes.
Like Colin says, they're doing bad things, so they are decided. So the one who they are cheating on has been cheating because he's been sleeping with her before marrying her. In all these cases, I've not heard that this is someone's wife. The guy who they are reporting to is a thief. The thief is a thief. So let's get into a break. We'll come back and discuss this.
Now, we are here at Sanga Courts having a very interesting conversation and real conversation about whether you should tell or not tell. Don't forget, this is your show. We want to hear from you. Our hashtag is NTV Men. Also, on X, we can have this conversation. It's NTV Men UG, NTV Men underscore UG. We'll be right back.
Men.
Welcome back from the break. We are here at Sanga Courts having a conversation about whether you should tell or not tell. Now, Chris, when we went into the break, you said something very interesting, and I think you managed to just walk very carefully on the fence. Would you consider not seeing and not saying equivalent to telling a lie?
Nah, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to use a moral framework here to see if we can justify this in a moral framework. But let me go back here. Most of the time, and I'm saying this because I want to move it to the middle if possible. But most of the time, this guy who is hopefully going to marry this girl in this particular scenario, has he been sleeping with her as a girlfriend?
Most times.
Most times, yes.
In the rest, for the rest of us.
He has been just riding.
To make the situation uncomplicated for Chris, let's consider a marriage couple.
No. So I'm just saying, because I am very keenly aware about what you're talking about. So this guy has been test riding. Now another test rider
has come into the picture.
Is riding just before he makes his thing
Just
official.
before he buys the car.
So what is the what? I'm just asking some questions there. If you really want to get moral about it and walk and toe the straight line, these are two thieves. Okay.
In an ideal world.
So no, I know this is rubbing some of you very, very wrong, but I want to leave that there. And then, so that's one. But two, it's a thing about if someone is walking into a permanent covenantal relationship and I have the kind of relationship with the person,
Let's say me.
where we are brothers, where we are in community, the kind of community where we tell each other the truth and help each other, very similar to what she was saying. I am duty bound to tell you.
Yes.
Because I am, weirdly, I'm going to have to deal with the ramifications, like Colin was saying, of the outcome of this. Because it's like, Chris, you knew and you didn't tell me. I don't know how to live with that, right? But if you, the guy who's marrying the girl, know that both of you have been side dishing, I don't have to tell you this one more time because you both have been doing it. So that in the weird mind of it may not sound, it may not make sense, but there are people who, because they don't believe in sex only in marriage, they call it cheating and then they forgive each other, but they both cheat. And they've been doing the cheat thing.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. I'm giving you scenarios of things that I've seen and I know.
Yes.
Okay? So why I say there's need for wisdom to be applied is to say, and for it to be situational. I think that ultimately, if someone is going to make a big decision, they've got to make a big decision, if I care for them, with all the cards on the table. So overall, I'm duty bound to tell you.
Yeah.
And then you choose to make that decision. Because I have seen, even in a marriage scenario, where one person cheats and the other forgives them and they move on. right? For some people, it's not a deal killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but then they have all the cards. They know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I have a
so-
But you
so-
also become pillow
before
talk.
Chris finishes, I want to ask him something. Just add on. Chris, sometimes you know your people. Sometimes you know your bro. Akava mangu. You know that if you tell him, Akava mangu is people who cry easily.
Yes.
And you know that if you tell him this thing, it's going to finish. You know that he's not strong in the spirit.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have a strong
Stomach.
stomach. You tell him this thing is going to fall sick for 3 weeks.
Probably kill himself.
Yeah,
There's a hack for that. You just go and tell him, as long as you're happy. Any sensible man, if
Yeah.
your bro comes and tells you,
As
"You're
long
getting
as you're-"
married, but anyway, as long as you're happy. If
No,
your boy gives you that line,
that's too coded. Some people don't
understand
read
that.
it.
Now I'm telling them because they are watching.
No, listen.
No,
No,
but
that's too
Chris,
coded.
because the thing,
But-
before you finished, I was
Yeah.
going to say, sometimes you know your friends. You know that you want to tell them the truth,
But
but
they
you
can't
know
handle.
that they are soft.
I think that's more reason to tell them then.
Guys,
Because then they you know how deep they are into
You
this.
see, bad news is not like wine. It doesn't get older with time.
it doesn't
I
get
don't
finer
take
with
wine,
time.
but the wine drinkers say
gets finer
that
with time.
wine gets finer with time. Like age-old wine is better than the new wine or whatever it is. But the thing is that when it comes to bad news, you're not getting a better scenario by holding it back. Like, look, when the emperor has no clothes, telling him at the door before he gets out of the castle is better than when he is now at Kololo and they're
He's
waiting
naked.
and he's naked.
Yes.
So bad news
Okay,
does
but,
not
Chris,
get better with
Chris,
time.
Chris,
but
listen,
then-
listen.
And so let me finish. You asked me.
Okay.
Let me finish. So the thing is this: if he's a crier and he's going to fall apart like a $2 suitcase when you tell him before the wedding, what would happen if he finds out after the wedding?
happens if he
he's
never ever
he's
finds out?
probably going to explode. So let's have a $2 suitcase breakdown now. We manage the thing, and then we move
Can I
forward.
say something?
Just before
Yeah.
you do, I'd want to hear from Doreen. Now, Doreen, the reality is we are all different. And I believe the danger in what Chris is saying is we're using one template
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
It's just the same
No,
way.
Peter,
Just wait,
that's
just
not
wait.
necessarily true,
No,
but-
because you're saying it doesn't matter, just tell them. The reality is there's certain people who can literally stomach bad news. I'll give a simple example. When somebody in the family passes on, there are certain people who you're like, don't tell so-and-so yet. All right. Because we know the kind of person they are. Then there are others, you'll even just send a WhatsApp and say, hey, bro, have you heard? So-and-so, or sorry for your
But
loss.
this other weak person, do they eventually know that the person has died?
What I'm saying is this.
2 hours later,
Let-
4 hours later,
listen.
10 hours later, 2 weeks later. The point is that if you've lost a relative, you must know.
Listen, yeah. So
This is life we're
because
dealing with.
that
It's
is-
not like a glass.
No, because that is a permanent situation. So now you
Marriage
just-
is
just
permanent,
wait.
dude.
You talked about wanting to know. Now, what if your person is never ever going to do this again? So you're never going to be in this place again. Would you rather just not know? I mean, because
No. I'd prefer to know. Personally, I would prefer to know. Because also, I think I'm with Chris on that particular point, that particular one. I don't think a cheater cheats once. Maybe if you're...
so you're trying to say
But
cheaters
you know-
don't reform? And
Personally,
become
I don't
leopards?
believe that. Personally, I don't. But there are people who do. I don't.
So a cheater can't become a leopard.
No.
Can I say something?
For me, it's a no. For me, it's a no, and that's okay. They've actually the majority of women are like, you know what, I think you've all had this. If I've not seen it, it doesn't hurt me.
Yes.
I wasn't there. I don't know about
what's
it.
really interesting? Before we came on here, I was telling Chris about this, and Chris thinks it's a type of madness. Because I was telling him some things
Yeah.
you don't need to know. Because once you name a thing, it becomes real and present in your life, and you have to live with it.
That's true. And also, I think as a
So which
person,
side are you on?
have no. You have to sit before, because we're in a world where you hear negative things about marriage, right? So the moment a guy says, "I like you and I want to see your parents," sit down, think about it. What if this man cheats? What do I do? Alone. This is not about him. Alone. What do I do? Am I going to leave? Am I going to stay? And then have a decision on hand. Whether they say, okay, this chick, I grew up with her, she was my bestie, she's my mother's, whatever, it doesn't matter. Again, that comes down to you as a discussion you've had by yourself. But if, and then comes down to the matter I was talking about, who is telling you this information, because those also really, really matter. Who is telling you this information and why?
So it might be true, but not necessary.
It might be true, but also why? Because some people know this information and they're not going to tell you,
Yeah.
you know,
'Cause
like
they're
Chris
smart,
was saying,
yeah.
they're not going to tell you because, okay, let's wait that, you know, this wedding ends and then as they're on the honeymoon, I'm going to send this video. I'm going to post it on social media. You see, there's malice behind that action, right? I'm like, okay, this was a friend, but clearly this action is not from a friend. They've told me, but they've destroyed this.
Can I say something?
And also there's something nuanced that I want to
Totally.
add, like a tip. Sometimes we're purely selfish. I'm just going to add that. There's a friend who is really good to you and you don't want to lose them. And like, okay, if I tell this person, I'm going to lose them. At least for us, the women, that friendship is going to die. You know, like, you know. And this has happened to me personally. Usually you just be like, I'm going to keep quiet or I'm going to sever this friendship. I'm not going to tell the boyfriend. I'm not going to tell the husband. But also this chick is not my friend anymore. Or I'm going to stay, she's going to be my friend and I'm going to shut up about the whole thing.
So you are confessing to keeping secrets.
Peter,
On live TV.
I want
Peter,
to say two
Okay.
things. I want
Yeah.
to say two
All
things.
right.
One, the thing that Chris said, sometimes you don't say because you're hoping that something worse will happen. That bad news, which doesn't get better with time, you're hoping that they'll catch her next time, so that when they catch her next time, you say, even last time I also saw them.
Can
I think that people procrastinate on bad news because of this.
Really?
Yes, because everything that we've said, the idea of naming and facing it, you say, let me keep quiet. And that's why it's very common in movies and in stories. People at the end of their lives, they say, I want to unburden myself. You know, I always known this secret. I saw this,
But Colin,
or
that
this was not your child. You know,
know,
there's so many things like
That's
that.
very much.
And-
You
And
knew
people
you
live
were
with this secret for a long
waiting.
time.
Wait,
I'm
this
going to
is-
say the second thing. The other mistake we're making here is assuming that sexual infidelity is the worst crime you can witness your friend doing. We're assuming that you catching Faisal's girlfriend is the worst thing. You can catch her committing a capital offense. You can be a witness to assault. You can catch them in the middle of their porn addiction or their gambling habit. There are things which are significantly more crisis triggering, things which can end businesses and bloodlines.
Yeah.
Imagine if you find out, you're talking like Mbu, they had Nabanja in a car in the parking lot. Imagine if you find out that she's a cannibal.
And you don't say.
And you don't say.
Then he marries the cannibal.
So we come here and we make the small things the central
big
part.
thing, yeah.
But when you talk about these things, like you have to think about it. You're a citizen of this country. If Faizo's girlfriend is a cannibal, we have to tell. One because one day it could be my child. Yeah, because Faizo's children are going to play with my children, right?
Yeah.
So we have to, it can't just be about sexual infidelity. It has to be about the full spectrum of these things and how serious they are. And which is why Chris was right in saying it depends. Sometimes it's a harmless thing. Hey, I saw the person in the club, they had some shots, but at 3 a.m. I saw them leaving.
Together.
That's a very different, but you see, it's a serious thing if cheating is the most serious thing in your life. But when you've lived life and you've seen things the way, I mean, some of us have, like the way I have, bro,
Cheating is nothing.
I'm just like, it's just your turn. And one day it will come for you. Because that's the perspective. Because there are far more serious things in this society.
Yeah.
Guys, you meet a girl, she has a boyfriend, and then you find out that in his spare time, he's out there with AK-47 terrorizing citizens. Now you are sitting with the information. You see he has bought a handbag. But you know it is because he snatched phones last night. And this is the evil of human behavior. You have to wait for the worst time
And
when
then,
Nabanja
yes.
says, even your weave is not nice.
Yeah.
Then you come back with the closer.
Yeah.
Even that's why your boyfriend snatches phones.
True.
No,
That's
I hear you. So you see, the thing is, so and I stand to be corrected. What I'm picking is you are saying that there are different categories and levels of truth that you should tell. Highly dependent on each friend and what it means to them. So, yes, technically that's what he has said.
Well, you haven't given me a chance to speak, so you don't know what I have
All right,
in my mind.
okay, fine.
I don't want to talk anymore now.
Okay, since he doesn't, let me just...
No. You, I'm tired of what you're saying. This is what I'm going to say.
Let me
One,
say, you know how to talk.
I don't want. No, I want to hear what you
Okay.
say. Let me say
I love
this,
this show.
Whatever you do, you're not doing it because of your friend. Understand that you're doing it because of you. Whether you tell them or not, do not lie to yourself that, oh, you're telling them so that you serve them. No. You're doing it because of you. You get what I'm saying? So there are people who are selfish. There are people who feel guilty. And I'm saying this because I've been on both sides of that spectrum. There's a time I saw something I shouldn't have seen, and I kept quiet about it. And I kept on, like, every time I would see this guy's, like, my boy's chick, I'd be like, shit, and she did this stuff and I didn't tell this guy. Until they eventually broke up, and in my head I was like, I would have ended that way faster. I would have saved them 2 years. And then I've also been on the other side of the spectrum where something happened, I told this guy, and this guy threw a fix. And yes, we had a difficult time for like that couple of months, but he eventually found out for himself. And he came back and said, you know what, I'm sorry for this and this and this and that and that.
So
but
he found
what
out
I
still.
Yes, but what I want people to
If you had just
understand
kept
is
quiet, he would have still found
what
out.
I want people to understand
It's
is
you.
whether you see something or not, whether you choose to tell someone or not, is because of your own personal reasons. You're not helping the other person by telling them.
Here's where
you're helping yourself.
Here's
In
where
one
I
side,
agree with you.
You're helping yourself not to feel guilty. On one side, you're probably being selfish.
So
Okay,
But
now we do have
let's
to-
not
we
make it
do
feel
have-
like you're doing people favors or
Not
something.
always.
Most times, these people even already know this person is cheating.
True.
All right,
So you're not bringing new information
We do need
to
to
the
get
table.
into a break. We're going to come straight back to you. So if you're out there and you're holding secrets and feeling guilty, according to Faisal, that's just your problem because you're keeping them for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Men.
Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, you have literally missed almost 3/4 of your life. But the good news is there's still a quarter left that you can still get from us. Now, gentlemen and lady, Chris.
before you ask the next question, there's something very important that I need to say. In a jocular manner, Colin always says, no, Chris is going to come up with something from the Bible, etc. I'm a pastor, what do you expect? Okay. Because I also believe that there is age-old wisdom in the Bible. The writer of the Proverbs says, better the wound from a friend than the praises from an enemy. And here's what that means. A good friend, if they really are a friend, when they need to tell you something that's bitter truth to you, a good friend tells you. Sometimes love to me is telling me things the way they really are so that I can deal with it. And that's why in Faisal's story before the break, when you told the guy and you said he threw a fix, but later on when he found out that you had told the truth, he came back to say, I'm sorry. And maybe he basically was saying, you are actually a good friend. Because that's what good friends do. Protecting a friend is not protecting them from truth. Protecting a friend is giving them the best scenario for them to succeed in life. And not to make them a lame duck.
Let me ask, are you trying to say in Kampala that people who have bad breath don't have good friends?
That's the point, yes.
True.
They don't have good
Yes,
friends.
yes, because you see,
Yeah.
it's difficult to tell your friend that, you know what, dude, the feedback I'm getting.
I think also that's a lot easier than what we're discussing.
Guys,
but even
Guys,
still-
I think this is a national crisis.
no, serious. Yeah. So if someone is having
ultimate
a breath challenge, tell them. Or if they, you know,
How do you tell them?
You
How
just
do you
say,
like,
You've known the
it's
guy
too much.
20 years.
yeah, you say, you know, these
Something
days
they
it
should
sounds.
get
These days it's
getting out of
These days
hand.
that smell is not so good. I think you need to visit a
No,
dentist.
no,
You
guys.
just say it
You
that
didn't
way.
tell him when you are 15.
Yeah.
You've been with him 20 years. Your wife has met the guy. Says, your friend smells the mouth.
Yeah, now you tell him.
No. You tell your wife, we shall get used. This is going to be an issue in the relationship.
No.
Let me tell you one thing, guys. You see, the reality is, it's easier said than done to say, you know what,
True.
every time you can't be that person whose job is just to go around.
It's not a job. Peter, if you ever consider yourself to be my friend and there is a hard truth to tell me, tell me.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
He
Tell
wants
me.
to know.
Do you have something to tell?
Now, another
Tell
friend
me.
may
Keep
not
it to
want to
yourself.
know.
This would be the time.
Okay, because
Like
I've
to
seen
talk, but
I have
he's
seen
not a
scenarios
guy.
where somebody has gone out of his way to get out all the details to this couple, everything. Then they have issues, and especially men. Then when they make up, that person becomes the enemy.
Always.
They're in the,
Yeah.
they're in the pillow talk saying,
Obviously.
you see,
Because
when
you
Fido was
become
trying to
pillow
break
talk.
us up,
Yeah, exactly, guys.
That's why I said.
But
You're doing
you see,
it for you.
you stayed true to who
For
you
you.
are. You see, here's the thing. Most of the time, when that guy needs unbiased truth from somebody, they will look for you. Because they know you're not going to sugarcoat it. You're not a two-sided mouth kind of animal.
So
All right? So the honest truth is this, guys. Most of the time when we need premium feedback, big business decision or big lifetime decision, you are going to consult people who, in the record of your in the deep recesses of your mind, told you the truth, because you do not want to be blindsided as you make big decisions. So somehow the people who speak the truth are the premium people when it really matters. They are the ones
But how
who
do
end
you know
up
it's the
sitting on
truth?
your
They
board.
went back with their cheek.
No, look, you see, it's okay that you've agreed to get back with the chick and you've forgiven the thing.
And they
It's
denied.
fine.
Me, I'm just saying.
It's okay. But you see, if you see, let me tell you something. I told you I'm a pastor. Let me just say it one more time. So because I'm a pastor, I hear things and I see things. I've seen people go through all manner of things. What you could even think is unforgivable, people are willing to forgive others because they love them. They have their reasons.
even the
okay?
cannibals.
Whatever. So my point is this, that you want someone to have all the cards that they're playing with. And let me also throw in something here that may get me a little into trouble, but let me just say, might it be that those who are really fighting for the no telling are the other guy, like Colin was saying, who was the one cheating, and they don't want to be reported?
No.
Just maybe.
No. Sometimes it's just not your place.
But
Because-
also, what Faisal was talking about, the selfish part, I'd like to emphasize that a little bit. As we get older, all of us, both genders, we get lesser and lesser friends, right? Now, you have your 3 friends. Now, per se, it's the 3 of us, and this is it. Your entire friend group, this is it. And then Colin is sleeping with me, but I'm getting married to Faisal. You get? Okay, if he's going to tell Faisal, this entire thing is going to...
Don't do that.
Oh, sorry. That's not true, guys. It's an example. For example.
It's not the
You're
rule.
like he's married, so you should say Pfizer
Yes,
with you.
because
and then-
I don't need this visual in my head. Imagine on national TV.
I'm so
And I'm here, I'm just picturing things.
Doreen,
My
as
wife
you were
don't look
saying,
at my
as you were
eyes.
saying.
I saw you picturing things.
I saw how your eyes
Yeah,
rolled.
I saw how your eyes were rolling.
The camera
You
was
were
rolling.
enjoying this imagination.
Okay, let's focus back to the scenario. Sorry, okay. So you're going to break up this friendship, and then it might never get back. You see, you're saying, okay, I need a biased opinion, they'll look for you. What if they don't?
It's okay.
Okay, that's true. But the selfish part I'm talking about is you don't want to be, nobody wants to not have friends, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to hold on to this friendship with Colin, and it doesn't look like he's the type of person who wants to know. And this is it. I'm with him. When he finds out, I'm like, I didn't know about this. This is also news to me. I'm so sorry.
And I stand to be corrected. I think what Doreen is saying, there's a very thin line between being somebody who gossips okay, and somebody who's looking out for
Peter,
what the other person.
the conversation
Me,
we're
I'm just-
having today is not about gossip.
No, gossip is not about
Yeah,
truth.
that-
This is not what we're talking about.
It
This
is about
not
gossip.
that.
You see, if my job is to see things and then
No, it's not your
delivering
job to
news,
see-
Peter,
that's gossip.
in every friend circle, there's a guy who will see something, and if he comes and tells the person, they may not believe him.
Yes.
But if you turn around and be like, you know what, let me go through Chris and tell Chris.
If Chris
speaks
says
to
it,
Peter,
yes,
this
they'll
guy is going to
believe
get
it.
it.
Yes.
Now that's being a better friend, because
Yeah.
I have understood the power dynamics of what
Of
is
the
happening.
friend
group.
And I know if I come as me, it's going to be treated as gossip.
Yeah.
But if I go through his brother, if I go through the if you get what I'm saying.
This scenario you're painting is in the Bible. Jesus said, if you have an issue with your brother, you go tell them. If they don't believe you, you go with another person. If they don't believe you, you go with the church. In other words, sometimes particular scenarios are easily resolved when you deal with the person firsthand. If there was an issue that I had, let's say with you, Faisal, I do not want to have to tell Colin about it so that we come and tell you, because I'm introducing yet another party, and yet I could have told you, and maybe it's resolved.
But I may not know how to talk to Colin. I may not know how to tell Colin he has a bad breath. If I tell you as a Chris and I'm like, you know what, Chris, you've been Colin's
Chris is
friend
now on my
longer.
side.
Let me tell you.
Chris has finally agreed with me. I agree, Chris. That's why I'm saying, why are you making it your business to be the one to go around telling people stuff? Now, so you see, you
what
just,
I am saying, Peter, is if I see a thing, okay, I consider myself your
no,
friend.
you've just said we're not going to.
No, no.
to
I consider yourself. I consider myself your friend. If I see a thing, I'm coming
trying
to
to find
you
allies
to tell
denying
you.
him.
Yes.
Guys,
Yes,
if you're
I will
watching,
tell you.
Peter,
if
one
you're,
step,
if
just
you're
one,
watching,
one line.
if you're watching this show and you're dating someone who's Chris's friend, just make sure Chris does not see you cheating, because it's over.
Peter, I just want to say one thing, and on this point that even as we seek to aggressively tell the truth, and I think we've said that it's not just about cheating; it's about different things and different issues.
Yeah.
I think that the heart of where this is also the intention of where you want to.
Motive.
The motivation,
Yeah.
right? A guy may not be lying, but he can tell the truth in a way that completely makes it impossible for you to forgive.
They destroy.
Yes, they destroy. So I think that that's also important. As
Packaging.
as we seek to tell or report or to just explain, I think that we also have to understand. We have to, and I think that's why in conversations we have what you call disclaimers or modifiers. Hey, I'm not telling you this. I'm not coming from a bad place, but I've observed this, I've observed this, I've observed this. I think that there's a pattern here. You really need to look into this.
But Colin, I hope you know that history has shown all those disclaimers and modifiers are usually exactly what it is. Somebody who says this is not coming from a bad place, trust me, it's coming from a very bad place. Or somebody says, you know what, with all due respect,
There's no-
as
there's
no
no
respect.
respect.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm saying, I'll tell you one thing. I'm all for telling the truth. Tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God. But I think we also need to be sensitive. Not all truths are good truths. You have to
Also,
be
we have
very
to-
sensitive
True.
about the
I'd like-
why. Why are you doing this? Where is this going?
I'd like to talk about something that Chris mentioned about,
And this,
it's being
we'll
a
have to
pastor.
make it your parting shot.
Go on.
So go on, but it'll be your parting shot.
That he said, most of the married women in church especially are advised not to be friends with single women. Yeah? So if that information is coming from a single woman, most times they're not gonna know. Because most times you're advised to stay away from these people. Even if you tell them,
These
be like,
people?
these girls are single, they're jealous that you are married. This information is not going to be taken up. This is true. So either way, if you're the single lady that is seeing this married friend or, married woman friend of yours and you saw their husband, you just kind of have to bow out and keep quiet. Or maybe tell the pastor who's going to cancel them, but still the issue is not going to be resolved from the perspective of the husband was, seen doing this. At the end of it, almost it comes back, my situation where I'm standing is, who are you and how do you matter to these people? And are they going to take this information as real or as gossip?
So that's your parting shot.
Yeah.
All right, Colin, your parting shot.
you know, this show has ended and we haven't even talked about, like, we're saying go and tell Faisal, but we haven't even talked about when do you tell the police? We're worried about the opinions of men.
What if they
But
are,
like, what about the opinions of the government?
what if they are the guys that just robbed the bank?
Yeah, like we've spent the whole thing about, oh my God, the cheating partner. Like, bro, your boy's girlfriend could be a bank robber. Do you tell the police? Yes. And I think that we must be intentional about who we report. We are old. Okay, no, not, I mean, some of us, like, we are old. Like, I can't be out here, you're sleeping with a thug, and then every time I'm around you, I have to make sure I know where my wallet is. I'm just like, bro, I'm going to report your girlfriend, we shall get another one. And I think that the real conversation we're having is about civic responsibility. It's about loyalty in interpersonal relationships, but also it's about civic responsibility on a higher level. When do you report crimes and when do you report actions that are against the community agreed standards? You see, in the church, they're saying, if you're a pastor, the threshold on these kinds of things is high because the church wants strong family foundations, and therefore you can't allow the foundation to be built on a lie, right? And that works. But me, I am willing for that family to be built on a lie if that's not the highest thing that I value, me as me. However, if I'm a strongly civil person and I see guys out here committing crimes, I'm like, by the way, and by the way, it doesn't even have to be a partner. It can be a friend. Like, we are 4 guys in the group. I'm like, Faisal, by the way, have you noticed that Mustafa is doing bad things? I will tell Faisal, but then I'll also go and tell the police. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
And finally, the thing that I want to say, and I think which is, there's a thing around introducing people to your business. I think that that's a thing that very many men are sensitive about. People will tell you, come and tell me. Don't tell anyone else, come and tell me. Because according to this doctrine, it's sort of dealing with one-on-one. But I think the higher social order around it is that idea of don't put my business out there.
Yeah.
Because I think that men are very sensitive to being disrespected. And if instead of telling Chris, I tell Faisal, by the time I tell Chris, Chris is going to say, but how many other people? No. So it's not even, why did you tell me?
How many
other people? How many people know? How many other people? And it's not like he's not mad at the cheating. He's like, now 3 other people know that my wife cheated on me, and now I've forgiven her, and now I stay. It then becomes, and I think this is how we close, it becomes a humiliation ritual. And so out of pride, a person who would have forgiven cannot forgive, because now they can't go back. Now they can't lose face in society. And I think that those are important dynamics we need to negotiate.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Faisal, your parting shot.
My potential, I'll tell you a story of the guy who was on that side, the side that was being cheated on. So I'm sleeping, I get a phone call from my friend. She's like, yo, I'm seeing Mukazi here, she's at Levels. Your friend is feeling her. I'm like, what? It's like 3 a.m. So obviously, like a madman,
You jumped
get
in the
up,
Corsa.
dress up. Nah, there's no time to drive. I got a border. No, I'm driving and you know you're going to see a cheating woman. No, hell no, I got a border. I go to Levels. I meet that chick. She's like, okay, your baby's there. That's the guy she's with. I look at the entire scenario. I look at the entire situation. In that moment, I am blowing up. Like, I actually want to cause drama. And this friend is like, you know what, chill, relax. You just go home. Now you know. We'll deal with this. You'll deal with this when she comes back. Just don't cause a scene. I mean, I'll tell you everything.
She was living in your house.
We're cohabiting.
Fire.
So she's like,
Focus.
like, I'll tell you whatever. I'll keep you updated if anything happens or whatever. But for some reason, by like 4 a.m. there, I see them leaving. So I'm like, let me go home. I get home before she gets home. So I go home at 4. I sit. I'm waiting 4, 5, 6, 7. That's when she got home. So when she got home, she had this story about how she went out and then the car they were supposed to come back with got an issue. What? But of course, I already knew everything. Yeah. Now, in that moment, I was mad. But let me tell you something. When it comes to people who are in love, yeah, they could see the person they're in love with killing another person, and they might find an excuse for it. In that moment, this girl came, said whatever she said, and I completely forgave everything, forgot everything, and now I started looking at my friend who called me to the bar as an enemy. As in, like, why would you even call me at 3 a.m. to tell me my woman is cheating? Like, why? Yeah. So the essence of, and this is a true story, the essence of why I bring this up is, this person told me, I got to find out, I came, I saw the proof myself, but did we break up? No.
You're saying you're still with her now?
No, we broke up a long time ago, as I finished my part in short.
Okay.
So, but then, even if this friend had not told me, even if she had come and told me after we broke up that, hey, by the way, there's a time we were at levels and I saw your chick being felt by this guy, I still would have gotten pissed. So what I'm trying to say is, to the person who's relaying the news, you're doing it because of your own selfish reason. Do not think, do not think the information is actually probably going to have an impact. It may not. Or the only impact that that might be there is you're going to become pillow talk. Otherwise, divulge that information knowing you're doing it for yourself, not for the couple, not for your friend, for your selfish reasons.
All right. Chris, your party.
I come from a world where we're interested in keeping friends for a lifetime. And in my world, when you're a friend for a lifetime, you tell me the truth, whether it hurts me or not. And I believe that it's possible to speak the truth in love. And I think that that should really be what supports love, rather than speaking of truth. To say, how do you tell me what I need to know, especially because the motivation is love, not because it's selfish, not because it's ulterior, not because it's malicious. It's possible for me to get to know the truth, and it's said to me in love. Because love is not always soft. There are two sides of love. There's invitation and challenge. You're going to celebrate me when I do well, but you need to tell me when I'm not doing well. And so I believe that we need to be able to speak the truth in love, just like the Bible recommends.
So it has been an interesting evening. We have been having a conversation about whether you should or should not tell the truth. Are you out there and you are dying because you know stuff? If you ask me, keep it to yourself. It's none of your business. Have a good night. God bless. And we will see you next week.